Hi, I'm Jacob Gallagher. I'm a PhD student at the University of Iowa in the Department of Health and Human Physiology. Today we're going to be talking about internal building design features and its association with more movement and less sitting at work. So the U.S. adult spends a large portion of their day, roughly 8 hours a day, at work each day, making this a big target time for any sort of behavior changes. Despite the potential impact of workspaces on physical activity, few studies have actually examined the effects of specific design features on physical activity. So when we look at a social ecological model, we can expect these physical environmental factors, such as interior, external, and staircase design to all impact physical activity levels. So the purpose of this study is to determine whether internal and/or external building design features are associated with occupational and leisure time physical activity and sedentary behaviors among a sample of full-time working adults. Our participants, we have a total of 114 working adults in 14 common occupations in the United States, and we recruited them by email. So we can see those occupations on the left. Their average age is 39. We have mostly female participants. In terms of our measures, we had participants wear an active PAL for 24 hours for 4 work days, and participants were also asked about their desk type, whether it was standard, sit, stand, or whether this question was not applicable to them, so they didn't have a desk. We also then asked them to complete a 25-item survey that asks about external, internal, and staircase design features that might facilitate physical activity. And so we can see here, they are the external building design feature questions, internal design feature questions, and staircase design questions. We use general linear models. There was a strong correlation between the internal, external, and staircase design, and so we left them in different models. And our findings, so the first finding is that there was no difference between a sit-stand desk and standard desk, but there was a significant difference between having a desk and not having a desk. So when we look at physical activity, we can see that the sit-stand desk and standard desk have very little difference, where there's a huge difference between having no desk and having a desk. Similarly, when we look at sedentary time, we can see people who do not have a desk are sitting a much smaller amount than the people who have a sit-stand or standard desk. So when we group those together, the workers without a desk are walking 508 steps more per hour than the workers who have a desk. On the other hand, workers with a desk are sitting 16 more minutes per hour than the workers without a desk. So when we're looking at those design features, higher internal design scores were associated with more occupational physical activity and less occupational sedentary time. So these red dots are adjusted for the covariates. Overall, one item increase on the internal design scores would increase steps by 117 steps per hour and would decrease sitting time by 3.45 minutes per hour. Interestingly, also the internal design, each item increase was associated with a 29-step increase in leisure time physical activity. But there's no other associations between internal design, external design, and staircase design. So our findings support that an internal building design but not external design features influence physical activity and sedentary behavior at work. Comparing to earlier findings, these conflict in terms of the external and staircase design, but agree with internal design. So in terms of limitations in future work, so one big limitation is that most of our participants are coming from the same place, they're coming from the same university, and also that we're just asked them cross-sectionally. And so ideally we get more studies that take this approach of recruiting workers in a workspace, taking baseline measures, and then randomizing to whether they have a design feature to support physical activity or just keep their current workspace and then follow up. So we have a little bit better control and we're looking at specific features and not just a questionnaire of multiple items. Thank you.